Hi everyone, my name's Scott. Welcome to Planes, Trains, Everything, and welcome to Dublin. On this video, I'm going to look at the possibility, could I live in Dublin? Now, I've done 3 videos like this already and they've been very popular. The first one was, could I live in Gibraltar? Britain in the sun. Sounds ideal, but is it? Not really. I'll put a link below if you haven't seen that video. It's had something like 250,000 views. A lot of people have had the same idea as me. The second one was, could I live in Vienna? Voted the most livable city in Europe for the 11th year in a row. So things are not as glossy as they sound. And the third one, could I live in Prague? It used to be the East European capital of cheap booze. It was a place you went for a stag night, a weekend break, but it's not cheap anymore. Again, I'll put a link below. So in this video, could I live in Dublin? Well, possibly. They speak English here, although to be honest, I have spoken to a couple of Dubliners and I could do with subtitles. But yeah, they speak English and they're a member of the European Union. And also, if you go online and look for the richest countries in Europe, you will find that Luxembourg always seems to come up at number 1. You get Norway, sometimes Switzerland, and in the top 3 you always get Ireland. And that's based on gross domestic product per person. Really? 3rd richest country in Europe? That doesn't sound right, does it? Measuring gross domestic product is usually a good way of working out the wealth of a country, but not here in Ireland. It doesn't work. Someone has actually called that Leprechaun economics, and you'll understand why in a moment. The corporation tax here in Ireland is 12.5%, compared with the UK's 25%. Now you see why it's so popular for a place to have a European base. In fact, there's something like 1,500 companies here in Ireland taking advantage of that 12.5% corporation tax rate. Here's an interesting story. In 2015, Apple moved to the Republic of Ireland. That year, the gross domestic product of Ireland increased 26%. Did the people of Dublin feel 26% better off? No. It looks good on paper, but in reality, not quite as good as it sounds. That is Leprechaun economics. In fact, large companies such as Microsoft and also Google are based here. In fact, as a YouTuber, I get paid by Google Ireland. So what are the advantages of living in Dublin over, let's say, somewhere in Scotland? Well, you'll never be homesick for the climate. It's very similar to Scotland. In fact, it's just as wet as Scotland, but I think the rain might be slightly warmer here. Now, for public transport, I had to write this down on a bit of cardboard because there's so many good things. They have here in Dublin trams, buses, suburban trains, longer distance services such as the one to Belfast. There are ferries to Cherbourg, Isle of Man, Holyhead and Liverpool. And from down the road there in Rosslare, you can go to Fishguard, Spain and France. And of course, Dublin is a big, big hub for Ryanair. As a person who runs a travel YouTube channel, transport is important. And here in Dublin, you seem to have a bit of everything. It's in a great location for getting around. The food's pretty good here as well. In fact, for lunch today, I'm going to try and recreate a lunch I had maybe 2-3 years ago. It's in Temple Bar somewhere. I just have to track down where this place is. Well, this is all the good news. So what's the bad news? Fasten your seatbelts. I did mention the weather, didn't I? Yeah, that's the rain on. If you don't like the weather, just wait 20 minutes. It's the same as Scotland. According to the weather report, it's going to be showery until about 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon, which is ideal because I can't check into my hotel until about 3 p.m. It's currently 11 a.m, so for the next 4 hours I'm going to be having a lunch and trying to keep dry. Trinity College is absolutely beautiful. I've been to Dublin so many times, but I've never actually explored the grounds. And the main reason for that is because every time I've come here, it's been torrential rain. Today it's only a shower. That's why I'm doing the rounds now. Dublin is a beautiful city and I love it, but there is one thing I hate with a passion, and it's just up here on O'Connell Street. What were you thinking? The people in town planning. It was like a Monday morning, still hungover from way too many Guinnesses the night before. Oh, whatever, just rubber stamp it. I can't be bothered. So they approved this monstrosity. I remember reading up on this spire or whatever it's called, and promptly forgot the reason why they built it. I know it was replacing a statue that was bombed or destroyed, but surely you could have come up with something a little bit more sympathetic to the local area than that thing. I mean, really? Yeah, I can't remember the reason for building it or what it's supposed to represent. Maybe it's like a beacon. This is the centre of Ireland, so no matter where you are in the world, your heart belongs here. Maybe it's something like that. It's still an eyesore. To keep the quality of this channel at a very high level, I decided to do some research. So if it's on Wikipedia, it must be true. It was designed as an elegant and dynamic simplicity, bridging art and technology. So there you go. Right, also according to Wikipedia, the official name is the Spire of Dublin, or the Monument of Light. I can think of a third name. Yeah, it seems not to have gone down well with some people, and they've come up with alternative names. I can't read some of them because this is a family channel. The Stiletto in the Ghetto, the Pin in the Bin, the next one I can't tell you, and the Spire in the Mire. Surely not. Well, there's one thing I've noticed about the centre of Dublin. There are not many Dubliners here. I tell you what, 9 out of 10 accents I'm hearing are actually foreign. Wow. Okay, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. I was here about 2-3 years ago, and I had a lunch at a pub in Temple Bar. It was a steak and Guinness pie washed down by a 5 Lamps lager. And I've always wanted to recreate that lunch. And you cannot buy either of those two things at Dublin Airport, and I think they're missing out on a trick there. And I thought, let's see if I can find where that original pub was. It's in Temple Bar, and there's only a couple of dozen pubs in Temple Bar that will be serving food. So I spent a total of about 10 seconds and I found it. It's the Temple Bar pub. It's a landmark. So let's go walking down that way because it's getting close to lunchtime. Good news and bad news. The good news is I found the Temple Bar pub. The bad news? I was just joking. Well, let's get inside. It's looking pretty busy.
Thank you.
Okay, I do have bad news after all. It's absolutely rammed in there. Wow. It's a Sunday afternoon, of course. It's only gone 12:30, so these people actually start early, but wow. There is no chance of getting in there unless you want to drink, and even then you're going to be standing. A meal, not going to happen. Also, there's live music in there as well, so that's attracting people, and it's raining as well, so everything is conspiring against me here. Plan B. I do have a plan B, always have a plan B. In fact, plan B is tomorrow's plan A. So, we'll try plan B, now plan A. And I think, I haven't planned this very well. I think it's up that way. Every time I go past a pub, I have a look at the menu just in case there's somewhere else that does a steak and Guinness pie. Nope. I found a few places that do steak and Guinness casseroles. That's not quite the same. And as for the 5 Lamps lager, okay, plan B, which is just up here, it's a buffet. It's non-licensed as far as I know, so it'll be the Coke or the lemonade. But it's a buffet, and I'm starting to get hungry. To be honest, I don't know what this place is called. All I remember is it's kind of up this way, up O'Connell Street. If you're from Dublin and you see this place, you might think, why are you eating there? But hey, I was there before and I enjoyed it, so let's see if I can recreate that meal. And here is, ladies and gentlemen, the Fortune Terrace Buffet. Let's go in. It is open as well. Well, what can I say about that? What I can say is I must have been hungry the last time I was there. That was almost average, almost average. When I saw calamari, I thought, aha, now we're talking. And there's nothing like a good calamari. And that was definitely nothing like a good calamari. The Chinese cannot do calamari. That was €14.99 and another €2 for a can of Fanta. I've come up with a theory as well. They were playing this really loud, thumping, banging music, Chinese music, and I'm thinking, do they deliberately play up-tempo music so you eat faster, so you leave quicker? That's my theory. What I didn't like about the place is they've got staff standing around and watching you. And yeah, I won't be back. Okay, I've been wasting a bit of time here because I can't check in at my hotel. That's the Premier Inn until 3 p.m. It's almost 3, so I'm going to start heading down that way. I'm going to check out Plan C to make sure I know where that place is. Make sure it is actually open, because I'll be trying that possibly tonight or tomorrow. Aha! Plan C has been found and located and is very busy. But that'll be either for tonight or for tomorrow sometime. It's been calculated that the cost of living here in Dublin is around 25% higher than the average cost of the European Union for capital cities. That is a lot. Now, could I live here? Well, they do have the 90-day rule here, even though they are not part of Schengen. You could apply for Irish citizenship if you've got an Irish parent or a grandparent. I can apply for Italian citizenship because my grandfather was Italian. I bet you the Irish don't have as much bureaucracy as the Italians, though, that's for sure. Did you notice how shiny her boobies were? Well, apparently tourists think it's a great thing to rub them for good luck. It's the equivalent of 9 years bad luck. It's like smashing a mirror here in Ireland. It's not really, I'm just saying that. But apparently Dubliners don't like you touching Molly Malone inappropriately. Cannoli, €5.90. I haven't had cannoli for almost a week. Might be worth it. They are big ones, so that's why they're €5.90. Maybe, just maybe. I did tell them not to bother about the bells when I arrived, but some people. Yeah, so I'm staying at the Premier Inn, the Liberties, which is a fairly new property for Premier Inn. And I was checking, and it's roughly midway between Euston Railway Station and Connolly Railway Station. If you want to walk 10 minutes, you're on the south bank of the River Liffey, and there's an airport bus there. So it's in an okay position. What I liked about the hotel was the price. Now, I'll be talking about cost of living shortly on this fine video, but the cost of accommodation in Dublin and the Republic of Ireland is crazy. And that's why I don't spend more time in Ireland. It's just so expensive. But tonight I'm staying at the Premier Inn for £61. That is pretty good for a branded accommodation. And why am I getting it so cheap? Because the price normally is at least 148, because tonight's Sunday night. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays you get corporate travellers staying there. Fridays and Saturdays you get the shoppers, the party goers, the theatre goers. No one stays here on a Sunday because they've got work the following day. And that seems to be the case in a lot of capital cities. So if you have the flexibility, always find a Sunday night can be cheaper in an expensive city. There's another advantage to the Premier Inn here. across the road from a distillery. I'm just saying, right, let's get checked in. And so this is the Premier Inn. It looks as if it's a triple. Looks kind of like a triple, doesn't it? Right, quick guided tour of what you get for £61 on a Sunday night. I might be having that in a moment because I got up at 5:30 this morning with only a couple of hours sleep, so I am so tired. Kettle, yes. I brought my own supply of coffee. How sad is that? Because I don't like the ones that they provide. It's kind of, I wouldn't say it's cheap and nasty. It's not as good as the stuff I usually drink. Yeah, actually quite a nice room. Like I said, this is a fairly new hotel. Oh, the toilet, bathroom, and it is spotless. I didn't know hotels still did shower curtains. But yeah, you can tell there's not a single spot of mildew or anything on this. And do you think we should have a look at the view? I think so. Hey, do you like the funky lights, by the way? I am going to go for a 40 winks. Actually, I might go for 50 winks and then might go out later on and get a bite to eat. See you then. Okay, I lay on my bed for 3 hours and I did not sleep. I kind of went into that kind of fuzzy stage, but didn't fall asleep. Right, I'm going to go and get some food. It is 7:15. If I don't eat now, I probably never will be, and I know I will be hungry later, so I may as well go for a walk and try and cross another one of these places off my list. Yeah, so the 90-day rule here in Ireland, you can get around it. I mean, you could possibly cross over from Northern Ireland. There's no border check there. There's no passport check. So no one would know how long you're actually living in the Republic of Ireland. It's not until you leave the Republic of Ireland and go to another part of the EU, that's when they would check your passport. You could do it if you really wanted to risk it, but is it worth it? There are a number of residency programs which you can apply for. I think getting to stay in the Republic of Ireland for more than 90 days would be easier than trying to get a similar permit in other EU countries, just because of the special relationship that we have with Ireland. Also, cost of living. I did some research on rental. Ooh. Yes, the cost of living. I went into one of these websites that was like Rightmove or something like that, where you could rent flats, and I looked at apartments in the north side of Dublin, the west side and the south side. I might be wrong, but the cheapest I could find were in the south side. And for a studio apartment, this isn't a one-bedroom apartment, this is a studio apartment, starting prices at 1,100 to 1,200 euros a month. That is crazy money. Absolutely crazy money. You won't be surprised to learn that accommodation rental prices in Dublin are amongst the highest in Europe. This place is called Xi'an Street Food, and it does get a good name online. You would think that after my disastrous lunch I'd be off Chinese food for a while, but no, apparently this is a good one. And they have a thing called a spicy box, which I'm curious to try as well. So let's find Xi'an Street Food. Right, I've gone for the spicy bag. They give you a little slip with a number on it and they will call the number apparently. There's a lot of people waiting. It's a very, very popular place, this. Spicy bag costs €8.95. I've gone for a bao bun, pork belly as well, at €6. It'll be a good meal, but I'm going to be so stuffed later. Well, I got my spicy bag. The next challenge is where to eat this, because she gave me the option of eating in or taking away. There's no chance you could eat in, it was absolutely packed. At this rate I could be eating my spicy bag back at my hotel. There's absolutely no seating around here. The good thing, however, is that it stopped raining. In fact, it's just like Scotland, like I said at the start of this video. 4 seasons in one day. Not a cloud in the sky now. Well, against all odds, I found a place to sit down. The spicy bag looks like this, and it's got chicken goujons and chips in it, and wow, they're spicy, but absolutely delicious. I've made a bit of a dent in them already because I was eating them as I was going along, but they are good chips. They have the right crunchiness, you know. Oh yeah. And now I see why they're so popular. I joked that I might be back at my hotel before I have a chance to finish this meal. Here we go. That is the typical goujon you get. Very crunchy and very spicy, delicious. And the chips have got the right amount of crunch to them. And they're covered in spice as well. One downside, I did order a bao bun. Guess what, they haven't included a bao bun. Oh well. So it's over and out from the Premier Inn, and I'll see you in the morning. Oh, nothing like a good cup of coffee to start the day. See that bed there? That is a very good bed. What a mattress, fantastic. It's a silent night mattress, and I know that because Premier Inn try to sell them. It's called a Premier Inn Mattress 2.0, which is effectively made by Silent Night. I don't know how much they are, but that is a good mattress. One disappointment was the shower. The shower itself, nice and powerful, I give that a 9 out of 10. The shower itself, 8 out of 10 for one big design flaw. Let's have a look. When I showed you this originally, I told you I wasn't too keen on the shower curtain. Quite a new curtain, you can tell, because it's still got folds in it. However, look at this design flaw. The curtain is too long for the bath and shower. You actually end up standing on part of that. It was a nice, hot, powerful shower, so I give it an 8 out of 10. Now I'm going to finish my coffee, I'm going to finish packing, I'm going to get checked out, then I'm going to continue looking at the cost of living problem here in Dublin. Okie dokie, I have checked out of the Premier Inn, and now I'm going to try and retrace my steps from yesterday. I did see an Italian pastry shop, and they were selling cannoli, and I thought I'm going to buy cannoli for Ron later on. Then I'm going to have breakfast in a cafe, which I have walked past several times and thought, I must try that. And I know what you're thinking, this guy does nothing but eat on this channel. Not really, I just like my food. But here in Dublin, I'm here for 2 days. I am trying to recreate some of the meals I've had in the past and following through on a couple of recommendations. So first things first, let's see if I can find this cannoli shop. You know what they say on The Godfather? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. On reflection, I should have taken a note of the name of this shop. I would have been able to find it a lot easier. I went on the Google Maps and it defaulted to a Sicilian cannoli shop in Edinburgh. Note to self, next time I'm in Edinburgh, at least I know where I am now. Right guys, good news and good news. I found the cannoli shop and they have cannoli. Right, cannoli purchased, a very un-Irish thing to buy, and if everything goes according to plan, I'll be having breakfast in a very un-Irish cafe. Okay, up to the big pointy thing and do a right turn. There's the Gardaí keeping a very close eye on me, making sure I'm safe. This is North Earl Street, and I think it's up there somewhere. Good news and more good news. I found it. It's open and it's still selling Georgian food. Now I've only ever had Georgian food once in my life. Guess where I was? No, Moscow. But it was a Georgian restaurant and it was delish. So I'm going to go in there. I'm going to see if they have coffee, and I'm going to have a Georgian breakfast.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good food.
That was absolutely delicious, and I've now found my favourite cafe in Dublin. According to Wikipedia, pierogi is an East European baked or fried yeast leavened boat-shaped bun with a variety of fillings. Mine had potato and it was delish. Right, let's find the railway station for a reason. Okie dokie, I'm here at Connolly Station and we're going to go for a little ride out to the suburbs. In the meantime, petrol prices. Keeping in mind that the cost of living is around about 25% higher than the European average for a capital city, petrol prices €1.67 on average here in Dublin. In the UK it's €1.63, so it's marginally higher.
Train to be related. This train is for Howth.
Yes, I got to the station and I noticed on the departure board my train to Howth was leaving in 4 minutes time. Do they use the touch on, touch off kind of system with credit cards? No, you have to buy a paper ticket. So I managed to get my paper ticket with 2 minutes to go. I had to run the full length of the station because naturally platform 6 is furthest away from the concourse. I had to run and weave my way through all these people getting off the train, and I managed to get in just as the door closed. Whew, I'm getting too old for this kind of nonsense, you know. This is Sutton on the coast. Some very nice houses here, very nice houses. If I was going to rent a property, it would not be in this area, I can assure you. Beautiful houses. But I've come here for two reasons. The first one is up here and to the left, if my memory serves me right. And then we'll get down to the nitty-gritty. Have you ever noticed a lot of level crossing signs that still show the silhouette of a steam train? Because it's easily recognizable as a steam train. Whereas if you have a diesel rail car or something, it could look like a bus, who knows. Yeah. Right, just up here. Yes. There's some beautiful houses here. Beautiful. This is Burrow Beach. You know, if someone said I'm going to go to Dublin and I'm going to lie on the beach all day, this is not what I would picture. I think this beach is probably one of Dublin's best kept secrets. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, it may look amazing, and there are two people in the water. But don't forget, this is the Irish Sea, and this is like the west coast of Scotland. But it's absolutely stunning here. Here's a panoramic shot. Yeah, I'm going to Dublin, let's go to the beach. That is not something that gets said. And that's why this beach is so empty. It's just the locals who know about it, and the occasional YouTuber. Another thing about this beach is you can lie here and soak up some vitamin D, and you can plane spot as well because you're right under the flight path of Dublin Airport. I was just checking the water quality there. Apparently it's excellent all throughout the summer. Excellent. And I'll tell you, if you're in Dublin, going to the beach is not something that would be at the top of your list, but with a beach like that, you should consider it. If the weather's kind to you, that's the main thing. I believe the weather is going to turn shortly. I mean, it's absolutely glorious today, but in about 4 hours time, it's going to be raining. Right, we're heading back to the main road, because I'm going to check some food prices. Level crossing, lights are going. no trains. That level crossing barrier was down for a full 2 minutes before the train arrived. To be sure. Right, we are going to do a food comparison. My local supermarket in Paisley is Morrison's. I have a shopping list. I have converted the prices from pounds into euros for an easier comparison. And we're going to go to a supermarket just down that way, and we'll see whether the cost of living is reflected in higher prices for food and drink. That sounds like a plan, doesn't it? To be honest, I don't know what the Irish equivalent of Morrison's is. I know it's not Lidl or Aldi, and I know it's not Tesco, but Super Value might just do the thing. So I'll go into stealth mode because I don't want to be rugby tackled by security.
And then I rung her and I was like, here, I have my issue. Because she was like, she didn't have
€1.77 back home. €3.07 in Morrison's, $3.30 here. €1.45 back home. €4.72 back home, €5.69 here for Costa Coffee, 200 grams. 500 grams of own brand extra virgin olive oil, €4.09. Back home, $7.81. $1.65 in the UK, $1.89 here. Pringles back home, €1.77, €2.50 here, only €2.50. I think that'll do. School's out and there's thousands of school kids in here. Also, the alcohol section is barricaded off. You have to push a door to get into it. So I don't think I'll be checking the cost of Peroni. I got off at Tara Street and I'm heading into Temple Bar now because I still have some unfinished business there. Yes, unfinished business, and it's called the Temple Bar Pub. And here we are in Temple Bar again. I was reading up on the Temple Bar Pub and they've got live music every day, so being nearly 2:30 it could be jammed in there again. To be honest, I'm not that hungry because it's been quite warm today, and when it's warm I lose my appetite, but I do tend to drink more. And they sell Red Lamps Lager, don't they? Let's find out if I can squeeze my way in. It's only gone October, already into the Christmas spirit. Oh, it's good. Okay, a pint of 5 lamps, €10.95. Let that sink in. Be a paying for the name. This is a landmark. So the big question is, could I live in Dublin? Would I live in Dublin? Could I live in Dublin? Definitely. It's a beautiful city and the people are so friendly, just like the Scots. Would I live in Dublin? Probably not. Okay, as a travel YouTuber, it's a great hub for transport, Ryanair, there's loads of ferries, and it's a great way of seeing the country. But does it justify coming here? Because it is actually a little bit on the expensive side. And let's face it, if I want to come to Dublin, all I have to do is jump on a Ryanair flight and I'll be here in just over an hour. So would I stay in Dublin? Unfortunately not, but I will be back for the occasional break. Thanks very much for coming along, guys, and I'll see you next time.